Did Russia launch a missile into Poland? Article 5. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, established in 1949 to defend Europe from Soviet attack during the Cold War, based on shared political and economic ideals, now stands for a fundamental alliance between North America and Europe. 30 countries are now members, up from 12. What purpose does NATO serve? Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We'll discuss this in today's video. Russia fired a missile into Poland. Is that true? And stay tuned till the end of the video for some other exciting questions, like how frequently has Article 5 been used? In what ways did the invasion strengthen NATO? What worries Russia about NATO? Is NATO hostile to Russia? According to President Vladimir Putin's justification, Russia's invasion of Ukraine was intended to weaken NATO and halt its eastward expansion, but it appears to have backfired. The alliance appeared to be strengthened due to Russia's conflict, not cut, since Finland and Sweden, two of Russia's neighboring sought to join. NATO members have not fired a shot in the confrontation between Russia and Ukraine. But when it was claimed that a Russian-made missile had landed in Poland, a former Soviet ally, now a member of NATO, the alliance almost fell apart. Although it was unclear immediately if Russians shot the rocket in offense or Ukrainians in defense, the incident prompted concerns concerning Articles 4 and 5 of the NATO treaty. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, established in 1949 to defend Europe from Soviet attack during the Cold War, based on shared political and economic ideals, now stands for a fundamental alliance between North America and Europe. Membership increased from 12 to 30 countries. The NATO statement that binds its members together, promising them to protect each other and setting a spirit of unity inside the alliance, is the pledge of the collective defense. It demonstrates that an attack on one NATO member becomes an attack on all NATO members. The vow raises the stakes for any potential aggressor, enhancing the legitimacy of the alliance's deterrence approach. September 11, 2001. After the Pentagon and World Trade Center attacks, just once, the alliance utilized airborne warning and control system aircraft to help patrol the skies over the US. Following that came the observation of ships in the Mediterranean Sea, involvement in the Afghan conflict, and the instruction of Iraqi forces. Article 4 offers a channel for allies to get in touch with one another before taking additional action, in the event that any ally believes that the territorial unification, political independence, or security of any of the parties is pressurized. 7 times throughout the years Article 4 has been used, including most recently by 8 European countries in response to Russia's attack in February. The consultation may involve the exchange of information or the debate of shared policies, among other things. The alliance came together to present a largely united front against Russia more than 2 years after French President Emmanuel Macron voiced worries about the brain death of NATO, about what seemed to be a fading commitment by the US under then-President Donald Trump. The alliance increased the number of troops it had sent to the eastern flank, and some of its members gave Ukraine military hardware. After years of hesitation, Germany strengthened its military significantly and committed to spending the 2% of annual economic production required by NATO. Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, expressed gratitude for the assistance, but claimed that Western countries needed to be sufficiently united in their support of helping Ukraine overcome Russia. He noted NATO's opposition to creating a no-fly zone in Ukraine, which might have provoked a military war between member nations and Russia. Putin and his administration believe that NATO is encroaching on what they see to be Moscow's limited area of influence following the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. 3. Former Soviet republics, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, are already members of NATO. Russia, citing its security, demands that NATO must never allow other former Soviet governments to join. Not in the overt anti-Soviet Union manner that it once was. NATO has expanded its engagement since the fall of the Soviet Union, bombing Serb forces in the 1990s wars in Bosnia and Kosovo, and in 2011 enforcing an arms embargo on Libya. Russia propelled itself onto NATO's agenda with its partial invasion of Ukraine in 2014 and its complete charge this year. Both former Soviet republics, Ukraine and Georgia, submitted their applications in 2008. Their chances are hampered by NATO's refusal to admit nations with unresolved external territorial disputes. That's because, in addition to being present in Ukraine, the Russian military also occupies the internationally recognized Georgian regions of Abkhazia and South Ossetia. Although local strife makes joining shortly doubtful, Bosnia-Herzegovina has also applied. Sweden and Finland anticipated minimal opposition to their unexpected wish to join the alliance. Still, Turkey voiced reservations over their ties to Kurdish parties that Turkish officials consider terrorist organizations. Only with the unanimous approval of other NATO members is a country able to join. So far, 28 of the organization's members have approved the accession of Hungary and Turkey and the two Nordic nations. They had staked that staying outside would defend their nationwide security the best after the Cold War. Finland has spent its 104 years of independence skirting Russia, with which it shares a 1,340-kilometer, 830-mile border. After two wars against the Soviet Union from 1939 to 1944, Finland adopted a deferential and self-restrained strategy toward the Soviets, known as Finlandization. Approximately 200 years of neutrality allowed Sweden to avoid both world wars. The only way to safeguard its independence throughout the Cold War was to maintain neutrality. In Finland and Sweden, public support for joining NATO increased due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Why weren't Sweden and Finland members of NATO already? So, this is it for today's video. Well, what are your thoughts on the Russia-Ukraine never-ending war? Will things ever get back to normal? Let us know in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.